Blog Talk Radio.
At T-Mobile, we're declaring the end of data limits. Introducing T-Mobile One. One price, all unlimited for everyone. That's right. Get unlimited 4G LTE data on your smartphone on our network that was built to handle it. And get it at a price that won't break the bank. With 4 lines of unlimited LTE data for just $35 a line per month with AutoPay. Switch today.
Top 3% of data users greater than 26 gigabytes per month may see reduced speeds until next bill cycle. Video typically streams at 480p with qualifying credit discount via bill credit plus taxes and fees.
Blog Talk Radio.
Franchise interviews. From Easton, Pennsylvania to Sydney, Australia. You're listening to Franchise Interviews. Franchise Interviews. Welcome to Franchise Interviews. Franchise Interviews has been giving an up-close, behind-the-scenes look at franchising and entrepreneurship. Listen to interviews with franchisers, franchisees, franchise authors, franchise experts, and attorneys. And now, welcome your host, Marty McDermott, and Franchise Interviews.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to a very special edition of Franchise Interviews, where for over 10 years, we've been asking the entrepreneurs one-on-one. I'm your host, Marty McDermott. I'm the president of Franchise Interviews, and we have a great show today. We're meeting with the president of Pango Financial, Candice Caruso. And whether you have an existing business or a new startup, Pango Financial's full suite of innovative finding solutions can help your business get the jump start it needs. And we're going to talk to Candice about that in just a moment on Franchise Interviews. So stick around because we have a great show.
The Stone Coat Franchise Opportunity. Are you looking for a unique and lucrative franchise opportunity? If so, take a look at Stone Coat. With a patented process which creates a true stone finish on almost any wall or ceiling, Stone Coat is a true game-changing product in the multi-billion-dollar construction industry. Stone Coat is applied faster, cleaner, and cheaper than conventional quarried stone, which saves both time and money. With advantages in remodel and new construction of both residential and commercial projects, Stone Coat is a true crossover product. The Stone Coat franchise opportunity provides a low startup cost, low operating expenses, comprehensive training, ongoing support, and no royalty payments. For more information on the Stone Coat franchise opportunity, go to www.stonecoatfranchise.com. That's www.stonecoatfranchise.com or call us at 972-380-2700. That's 972-380-2700. Franchise Interviews. From Easton, Pennsylvania to Sydney, Australia. You're listening to Franchise Interviews. Franchise Interviews.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to a very special edition of Franchise Interviews, where for over 10 years, we've been asking the entrepreneurs one-on-one. I'm your host, Marty McDermott. I'm the president of Franchise Interviews, and as we were saying earlier, we have a great show today. We're meeting with the president of Pango Financial, Candice Caruso. And whether you have an existing business or a new startup, Pango Financial's full suite of innovative funding solutions can help your business get the jump start it needs. Hi, Candice. How you doing? Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Marty. I appreciate the opportunity to be part of your show.
Oh, thanks so much, Candice. It's a pleasure to have you. We always like to ask our guests, where are you calling from this morning, Candice?
So our offices are located in Wilmington, Delaware. We're, just outside the city limits.
Okay, fantastic. So you're not far from us. We're in Eastern Pennsylvania, so not far, so I can kind of guess what the weather's there today. That's great.
Absolutely, not far at all.
No, not at all. So, it was interesting when I was reading about you, Candice. We always like to, do, a background search on our guest. And, you grew up in an entrepreneurial family. How has that impacted what you're doing today?
Well, it certainly has really kind of pointed me in the direction of entrepreneurship and having a desire not only to be an entrepreneur myself, but also to really understand what it takes to be successful as a business owner and to provide individuals that have that aspiration themselves with the tools, the resources, and within Pango Financial, we specialize on the funding front. So that's where today I've had the opportunity to provide the most value and kind of give back to a larger entrepreneurial community. So it's really a passion of mine given my family's background and things of that nature, and I truly enjoy working with each one of our customers and helping them to realize that dream of business ownership.
My grandfather, he played a very important part in my life, Candice. He went to school up to 5th grade, and then he had to go out to work, And, when I was reading about you, I was listening to an interview. We have that commonality, don't we? I think your grandfather played a pretty important part in your life, didn't he?
He did. He actually he didn't graduate high school. So he has an honorary degree from his high school, but he's a very accomplished inventor, platform hairstylist, and he certainly left big impressions on my life, and also certainly taught me that dedication, hard work, and really kind of just putting yourself into whatever you're passionate about can make your dreams a reality. And so for him, he was able to launch a very successful hair curler, a hair invention, which was used not only professionally but by very famous artists, Cher, Madonna, Michael Jackson, and then on a retail basis. So, he graduating from a university is a great goal and achievement, but it doesn't always indicate your level of success and accomplishment.
I totally agree. I totally agree with that. Maybe we could talk. I've been familiar with Pango Financial for a long time now, Candice. Maybe you could talk a little bit about the history of Pango Financial.
Absolutely. Well, Pango Financial essentially is comprised of a number of executives that all come out of the financial service industry. We all bring our different areas of expertise. Some of us come from more conventional banking backgrounds or credit card backgrounds, things of that nature. My expertise and background is more on the qualified plan and broader financial service solution space. So it was a nice marriage of some different core competencies that all align to serve the small business community and really bringing programs to a small business owner that may not otherwise be affordable or accessible, or just bringing a level of awareness that they may not otherwise have of what funding solutions work for you at different levels of your business.
I think that's probably one of the biggest challenges, isn't it, Candice, is, creating awareness. We've been doing this show now 10 years, and I think, there's a lot of people out there that just don't know what some of their alternatives are when it comes to financing.
Absolutely. And also one of the things that we always try to do with our customers, no matter if it's someone we can help today or in the future, is really give them an understanding of what's going to be accessible as a startup business or as a existing business or acquiring an existing business, and what the differentiators are there. Also looking at their personal financial situation to see if it's more of an aspirational goal or a reality of them getting into the business that they have in mind. And sometimes we have a tough message to share that maybe the opportunity they're considering isn't truly realistic without some either outside help or other resources. And we really try to provide that level of information and direction so that more individuals can be successful in business.
That's fantastic. Maybe we could talk a little bit about the use of rollovers as business startups, Candice. What are the common misperceptions surrounding them, and how can franchisors educate their franchisees on what options are available to them?
Absolutely. So on the rollovers of business startups, that is actually a program that's been around since 1974. It's built into really traditional qualified retirement plan. So with that program, you are indeed establishing either a profit sharing or a 401k plan. So it's going to provide all the traditional retirement savings tools that those types of retirement vehicles provide to the not only the business owner but their employees. But what makes it particularly attractive to a new franchisee or someone acquiring a franchise is that it also gives you the added ability to roll over existing retirement savings like funds coming from an IRA or 401k.
Right.
And you can then invest it in the business. So it's not a loan, it's actually an equity position that the retirement plan would take. And therefore, you can, once the investment has occurred, you can use those funds as working capital within the business, but it maintains the tax-deferred, penalty-free status. So you're not taxed on those funds when they're invested in the company because of this distinct type of retirement plan design, which we call the DreamSpark plan.
Yeah, and I think that's a fantastic plan, Candice. And I think it seems like, that's, of course, the niche Pango Financial, isn't it? And there's certainly a lot of other benefits to the DreamSpark plan, isn't there? I saw like there's free incorporation, free registered agent. What else does the DreamSpark plan include?
Well, it's really kind of not only a nice suite of services, but a unique way that we offer the service. We have a platform that we've built. So it's a proprietary platform to make this easy for the customer, because these are, you're a small business owner. You don't have a whole team to outsource things to. So we really are mindful of that in how we've rolled out our client experience, and it takes someone all the way through compatibility, incorporation. Again, the incorporation we include as a complimentary service or a free service with the engagement. We also obtain the EIN and provide a complimentary registered agent service for the first 12 months. So a lot of value there. And then, of course, we're designing this qualified plan, which requires a lot of expertise, all again through this unique client experience, making it easy, secure, accessible to the customer 24/7. It also, because we've invested in technology, allowed us to price our product at the most attractive price point for setup and maintenance. So we're up to 25% less expensive than similar service providers. So certainly Pango Financial provides a lot of value when it comes to our DreamSpark plan, and not only establishing that retirement plan with this unique feature, but also maintaining it.
And I think that's so important. One of the themes that we've been talking about, this, Candice, because you've been in franchising a long time now, is, we talk a lot about, reaching out and getting help in these particular areas, because for someone to go about and, do these things on their own, it's quite difficult, isn't it, if you don't have a background, in these matters.
Absolutely. It not only requires expertise on qualified plans, it requires expertise on the franchising model, how you're acquiring the business. We also speak with the client's accountant or attorney to brief them on some of the requirements of the plan. So there's a lot that goes into this, and we're really taking something that was intended for much larger corporations, but streamlining it in a way that it's accessible, affordable, and easy to implement for a small business owner. So certainly something they would not otherwise be able to recreate on their own, nor would they have the appropriate documents and tools beyond the expertise to really establish a plan like this.
That's fantastic. There's a quick turnaround time, isn't there, Candice? I mean, I saw like it in some cases it's as low as like 2 weeks, which is very impressive, isn't it? There's not a lot of companies out there that can say that.
Yes, speed is always important, particularly when you're acquiring a business and you're closing deadlines and expenses. So we are very mindful of the client's timeline. We want to move as quickly as possible and have the funds available immediately when they need them. So we certainly are always looking to beat expectations, and in many cases, 2 weeks is certainly a very reasonable turnaround time, and we'll work with the customer as quickly as they'd like. If they want to slow things down, certainly we're happy to accommodate, but we'll move things forward just as quickly as we can. And again, that 2 week turnaround time is, in a lot of cases, very well appreciated by our customers.
That's fantastic. You work a lot with franchisors, Candice. I mean, what do you personally like about franchising? Again, I've been familiar with your name for quite some time now, so I feel like I know you a bit. But what do you like most about franchising?
Well, what I can appreciate, because I've certainly, through my own family experience and broader business experience, seen how challenging it can be to build a business from the ground up. And
Right.
franchising really is a tool for someone who aspires to go into business but maybe doesn't have the financial resources to build a business out, from scratch, nor has either the desire or the really the skills to do it all alone. And it helps to level that playing field and give them much quicker ramp up, gives them systems and practices that allow the franchisee or business owner to really implement and get to a point of profitability more quickly. It also allows them to understand kind of their gaps, so what they may not be good at, where they need to bring in other talent, and also where they can depend on the franchisor to help support those gaps as well. So I found that franchising is really not only a great way to encourage entrepreneurship, it's really the new mom and pops of this generation.
Right.
And it allows a lot of individuals to pursue, whether it be a second career or, their own version of entrepreneurship, but in a way that is affordable and also easy enough to implement, that, with some level of education, experience, and, of course, picking the right system that accommodates the customer, can get them to a place where they can really achieve their goals as a business owner.
That's fantastic. The majority of our listeners, we call them aspiring franchipreneurs, Candice. Most of them have it in their mind that they want to get into franchising, but doing the show such a long time now, we find that, a lot of our listeners are kind of confused because, and this, when you go to the franchise shows and, there's so many portals out there, there's just so much out there to choose from. So a lot of people are confused in their quest to buy a franchise. So, from all of your experience, everything you've learned up to this point, what advice would you give to our listeners in their quest to buy a franchise?
Well, I think that it's helpful if you are new to exploring franchising to potentially seek out a consultant or a franchise broker to help you navigate and select the right opportunity. I think that tends to help a lot of individuals because there's thousands of franchises out there. And being in the franchise business, I drive down the road, and many of the not only restaurants but service-based businesses that you know and love and utilize for your family are franchises as well. So if you try to pursue that independently, it may be an overwhelming experience. There also are great resources that, like franchise shows you can attend, things of that nature to help you kind of narrow your scope. Also, the International Franchise Association is always a very great, incredible resource to help navigate that process, and they have a lot of events. So one, I would say, is finding the right opportunity is the first and most important step for you. And a lot of that may come down to the skills that you bring, how much capital from a funding perspective you can afford to invest into a business, because being properly funded is going to also be a strong indicator of your ability to be successful. And then finding a system that really aligns with your goals and objectives, but also that's going to provide for not only the type of services or products you want to provide, but potentially the region. So you may love a particular franchise brand, but if someone already owns that territory, it may not be available to you. So there's a lot of different aspects, particularly that relate to franchising, that we help our customers navigate through, even as just focused on the funding side, to really make sure that they have other resources that will support their success. Even having a franchise attorney review the franchise disclosure document to help them understand that process is an important piece.
I think that's great advice. Do you find that the funding process usually comes last? I've always felt, Candice, that it should be something that, if someone is looking for a franchise, they should talk to someone like yourself initially at the very beginning and know, of course, what they're qualified to buy, because a lot of times when people will go to a franchise show and they might be particularly interested in a concept, and it's way out of their financial capability. Do you think that's one of the first places they should start then is with your type of service?
Marty, that's exactly my thought. I think that it's best to find out what you can afford and also what resources you're comfortable leveraging in going forward with a franchise, because you may spend a lot of time and energy looking at brands that are either unaffordable or that don't align with your financial goals and objectives.
Right.
So really starting with financing and whether it be the DreamSpark plan and leveraging retirement or an SBA loan or home equity or even an unsecured loan, we're going to help the customer, because we're a full funding solutions provider, we're going to help the customer understand each one of those types of funding programs, whether they be debt financing or equity, and really what skin they have in the game and the cost to pursuing that type of funding strategy. And therefore, they can better navigate through the franchise selection process and find brands that truly align with that.
I guess it's kind of like buying a home, right, Candice? You're looking for mansions and you're not even in that neighborhood, right? I think that's a great response, and I think it's great advice, for our listeners. So, as the president of Pango Financial, I can ask you the next question. I mean, where do you see Pango Financial maybe 3 to 5 years down the road, Candice?
Well, we really aspire and would love to continue to innovate. So leveraging technology throughout our suite of services is something we'll continue to do, as well as create tools that make things easy for our customers. So when we think of technology, it's not just to create efficiency in exchanging information. It's truly to be an educational consultative tool to give the customer and empower them with the right resources. So I envision that we will have more resources, more tools that give the customer intelligence on those funding strategies, that we're going to continue to provide them with ways to streamline otherwise complicated funding solutions and doing it in a way that makes it easy for them and affordable for them. So these are features that are ingrained in our brand, and we're going to continue to implement them throughout the suite of funding solutions that we offer. And then, of course, also, to find new ways to finance businesses or franchises. We're always on the cutting edge of looking at alternative financing programs that are emerging or crowdfunding programs that are emerging. So really marrying all the different conventional ways that you may think of financing a business with some of these more emerging or alternative financing programs as well.
It's amazing if you think about how far we've come with technology, Candice, and how things are done today versus, how it was done maybe 20 years ago. It's just so much different today, isn't it? It's just so much more efficient.
Well, we're such an instant gratification society now due to technology, and so it's almost essential to meet the needs of today's customer is to really have that piece of technology so that they can do things at their convenience. Time is the most important resource we all have. So if there's ways that we can help our customers better leverage their time and get more accomplished, I think that that's always a win and an asset that can be an extreme point of differentiation and particularly a necessity as we move forward, in the business community.
That's fantastic. How can our listeners get more information on the DreamSpark plan, Candice, or any of the services, of course, from Pango Financial? Is there a particular website that they should go to?
Absolutely. So you can certainly learn about all our different funding programs by going to www.pangofinancial.com. That's PANGO financial.com.
That's fantastic. I want to thank you again for coming on the show, Candice. Again, I feel like I know you because I've seen you. I think I'm connected with you on LinkedIn, so I feel like I know you before the interview. But it's great to finally have you on the show and to finally have the chance to talk to you. It's been a privilege for me.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity and certainly love and look forward to helping more entrepreneurs and franchisees in pursuing their dreams. And thank you again for your time.
It's been my pleasure, Candice. And we'll be right back with more franchise interviews. Coming up on segment 2, you're going to hear what every franchipreneur needs to know before buying a franchise. We're going to play a clip from our popular Great Quotes in Franchising podcast right here on Franchise Interviews.
Are you looking for a franchise that delivers? Businesses will always need shipping, and for more than 25 years, loyal customers have depended on Unishippers for reliable savings and exceptional customer service. Unishippers is focused on just one thing: helping small and medium-sized businesses save time and money on all their shipping needs. And as the largest reseller of complete shipping services in the country, we have the buying power to ensure that we succeed. The Unishippers franchise offers low startup costs, no equipment or real estate required because they're not retail, residual income, and a quality of life and work-life balance. For more information on becoming a Unishippers franchisee, go to www.unishippers.com and click Franchise Opportunities or call Franchise Development at 801-708-5822. That's 801-708-5822. Franchisers, are you looking to reach aspiring entrepreneurs looking to buy a franchise? Are you looking to reach a highly educated audience on franchising? For over 8 years, Franchise Interviews has been giving an up-close, behind-the-scenes look at franchising and entrepreneurship through our website, franchiseinterviews.com, where you can hear and read interviews as well as get tips from some of the most successful sources in franchising. Our weekly franchise radio show where each week you get to hear a new interview with franchisers, franchisees, franchise authors, franchise experts, and attorneys, and our podcast, Great Quotes in Franchising. For more information, go to franchiseinterviews.com or call us at 610-905-2919. That's 610-905-2919.
Hi, everyone. This is Marty McDermott from Franchise Interviews, and welcome to another edition of Great Quotes in Franchising, where each podcast you get to hear a great quote in franchising. You know, we've been hosting franchise interviews many years now, and you can actually hear the show in a number of different places today. You can go to, of course, franchiseinterviews.com, where we have our interviews arranged alphabetically. We also have interviews arranged by category. So if you have a particular industry that you're interested in, you can go to the category of your choice and check out all the different interviews that we've done over the years. Our show's been syndicated in a number of different places. Of course, you can hear our show on blogtalkradio.com. We've been working with Blog Talk Radio for many years now. And you can hear the live shows there, and then you can download them as an MP3. You can hear our shows on Stitcher.com. You can hear our interviews on, I think it's pronounced, I always want to call it Blueberry.com, but it's BLUBRRY.com, which is another podcast service. You can now hear our shows on iTunes.com, and of course, you can hear our shows 24 hours a day, 7 days a week if you're a diehard fan to our show on Live365.com. And we have over the years over 420 shows. So if you were to listen to Live365.com for 2 weeks, there's a chance that you may not even hear the same show twice. So that's how many shows we've recorded over the years. But today's Great Quote in Franchising podcast comes from Darren Guccione, and Darren is the CEO and co-founder of Keeper Security, Inc. And what's interesting about this podcast, we had Darren on the show as the founder and the creator of Keeper, which is the world's most downloaded password manager and digital vault. And Darren is a real entrepreneur. And one of the questions that we ask on the show is, what advice would you give to an aspiring entrepreneur or franchipreneur or someone looking to buy a franchise? And that question is usually directed to someone who has been directly involved in franchising over the years. But again, Darren is a real entrepreneur. His background is in accounting and business. And I thought his response was just as great as anything that we've heard on the show. So here we go with Darren Guccione, the CEO and co-founder of Keeper Security, Inc.
Amazing. It's amazing technology. In studying your background, Darren, I mean, I was mentioning earlier, I mean, the majority of our listeners, again, we call them aspiring franchipreneurs. You know, they want to go into their own business, and they're kind of like heading towards the franchise alternative. What advice would you give to them? Because you're certainly, in studying you, certainly classified as an entrepreneur. So what advice would you give to them?
Well, my background is engineering technology. I'm also a CPA, and
right.
I've always had an admiration for franchises. One of the things that I love about franchises, among other things, is that you can analyze the different franchise models that are out there, the brands, the type of businesses, and you can quickly identify which ones are successful And typically, they give you a roadmap of what you need to do to execute. When you start a business without a franchise roadmap, you typically don't necessarily know where you're necessarily going to go or wind up. And so you get a greater sense of security and guidance when you can pick a franchise model that, A, fits within, your goals in life, your interests in life, and B, provides a really sound, infrastructure for you to build a business with a great support system around you. Most businesses that are one-off businesses don't have that. So there's a greater sense of, uncertainty out there when a business owner or an entrepreneur, as you've outlined it, decides to, pursue a franchise versus doing something completely fresh and new. I think the risk profile of doing the latter is much greater. So that's my response to that.
It's fantastic advice. So any final thoughts, Darren?
Fantastic interview with Darren Guccione. So I want to thank everyone for making our show such a success, and this podcast has really just taken off over the years, and we got some really great quotes in franchising coming up. So thanks everyone for listening, and we'll see you again soon with another edition of Great Quotes in Franchising from Franchise Interviews. Take care, everyone.